On page 4. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations, practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sangye Joda Zogen Tane Gyabso Che Dage Jinso Kebe Sonamge Dola Penjir Sangye Dubara Sho Sangye Joda Zoge Jonam La Chancho Pardo Dane Gyabso Dage Jinso Kebe Sonamge Dola Penjir Sangye Dubara Sho Sangye Joda Zoge Dage Jinso Kebe Sonamge Dola Penjir Sangye Dubara Sho. Is there anybody who can help me to identify the three principal aspects of the path in the text? Page 78. Okay, thank you. Page 78. And this morning we discussed about our personal practice. See if you can do something on a daily basis, starting from like 10 to 15 minutes a day. Then eventually you can grow. You can make it the more detailed, longer duration, ranging like, say by time after 5 years, 10 years, you can make it like then. 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day, depending on the availability of your time. And what we practice? What we practice, to make sure that what we practice is very succinct and that that we don't really, the productivity is there. A great productivity is there. In other words, cost effective. What we put effort, the result should be there. So for this, the 4 things to be done: single point of meditation, renunciation, bodhicitta, and the wisdom of emptiness. With these 4, then take the aspiration bodhisattva vow, which we're going to do in more detail from tomorrow onwards. If this much you can do on a daily basis, over time you'll see the growth. You'll see that you are, say, your mind becomes more and more stable, and the not being easily affected by external factors, and that the joy increases. And then you become not a cold person. Otherwise, at times, when we go, when we immerse ourselves into some communities, some jobs, corporate, or say the state, the jobs, wherever, then the competition and so forth, that these things make you to become very cold and feelingless. This is quite dangerous, and of course, the whole environment influences us so badly. So we should be very careful to make sure that the whatever degree of purity, compassion that you have, and that is not being sullied by the environmental bad influences. You should remain very strong and firm, no matter what influences they are from the environment, competition, particularly in the corporate world. There's so much of competition there to prove that you are somebody, that you get promotion. So we should be very careful. Finally, this is not only life, there are many more lives. And then it's not just 2, 3, 4 lives. Till Buddhahood, we have to continue taking birth. And how do we know that? This rebirth, this is a very important topic about the brain and mind relationship. It requires a separate discussion. We don't have time here. And the body stops, but the mind continues. And what is this mind? We have to study all these things. These, the study of the Buddhist psychology will really help us to understand this. And then, of course, a personal journey into this as to how there's a mind which is different from the brain. Then you come to get a conviction that this is not only life. There are so many more lives. Why should I have to just to cope your life with the environment here? Why should you destroy this self for the next so many lifetimes? So, and these are the wise people's approach to make sure that you lead a meaningful life. With this mind, wherever you end up in terms of your job, work, and so forth, the three principal aspects of the path, the 4 points which we discussed, and added to that, the Bodhisattva vow, you take it on a daily basis, we see that you're growing. And at times, again the same thing, when we go through these practices, at times we can become little, mechanical, where there's no feeling there, you're doing it all the steps as discussed, and yet feeling is not that much coming as much as you used to have. And under such situation, you have to read this. Not only read, reflect on the points. Again, there are only 14 verses here, and by Lama Tsongkhapa, each of the 4 points, the renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom, emptiness. Why to generate renunciation? How to generate renunciation? If you get stuck with how to generate renunciation. So for this, the points will be given there. How you reflect on these points, then it will not become mechanical. You will start to have the feelings. And then number 3 is what is the measure of having generated renunciation. 3 points. Likewise for the bodhicitta, likewise for the wisdom of emptiness. And by studying wisdom of emptiness and then meditating on the wisdom of emptiness, at times you may wonder whether I'm in the proper track or I'm going off the track. How do you know that? Again, you read this section on emptiness. Again, Lama Tsongkhapa very clearly explains as to say what is the proper understanding of wisdom and what is when you go wrong, all these things will be very clearly explained in these. So we'll read these 3 principles of the path. And why I'm reading this is not for the sake of reading, it's for the sake of us in future. When we meditate on these points, then these will be used as a mirror for us. Whether what you're practicing, where you get stuck, to see where we're going wrong. So these points, Lama Tsongkhapa, the 14th century great enlightened being, the revered in Tibet, revered as the second Buddha. So they explain these points, and then this would be like such a key for us to unfold our treasure, to make which otherwise our practice seems to be so mechanical, we'll have a life in it. Okay, let's read this together. The 3 principal aspects of the path by Lama Tsongkhapa. I bow down to the Venerable Lamas. As well as I'm able, I'll explain the essence of all the teachings of the Buddha, the path praised by the conqueror's children, entrance for those who desire liberation. Listen with a clear mind, you fortunate ones, who are not attached to the joys of cyclic existence, and direct your minds to the path that pleases the Buddhas. Without pure renunciation, an end to attraction to the pleasures of cyclic existence is unattainable. The craving for existence also binds beings. Thus from the outset seek renunciation. Reverse the attraction to this life, but reflect on how leisure and opportunity are difficult to find and how life is ephemeral and without span. Reverse the attraction to future lives by repeatedly think of the infallibility of karma and its effects and the miseries of samsara. Contemplating thus, when for an instant you do not admire the splendors of cyclic existence and remain intent on liberation, renunciation is born in you then. Renunciation, if not tempered by pure mind of bodhicitta, however, will not bring forth the perfect bliss of unsurpassed enlightenment. Therefore, the wise ones generate the excellent mind of bodhicitta, sweat up in the current of the 4 powerful rivers, tie the strong bonds of the so how to undo. caught in iron net of self-grasping, completely enveloped by the darkness of ignorance, born and reborn in boundless cycling existence, ceaselessly tormented by the three miseries, thinking of your mother as in the conditions generate the supreme mind of bodhicitta. Although you train in the realization of mind of bodhicitta, without wisdom that realizes the ultimate reality, you cannot cut the root of cycling existence. Therefore, strive to understand dependent arising. One who sees the infallible cause and effect of all phenomena in samsara and nirvana and destroys all focuses of apprehension has entered the path which pleases the Buddhas. Appearances are infallible, dependent arising. Emptiness is understanding that is free of assertions as long as there is does not yet realize the intent of the Buddha. When these two realizations are concurrent, where the mere sight of infallible dependent origination concurrently destroys modes of grasping through definite discernment, at that time the analysis of the profound view is perfected. Furthermore, appearances refute the extreme of existence, emptiness refutes the extreme of non-existence. You are not captivated by the view of extremes. O my child, once you have realized points of three principal paths, seek solitude and cultivate three songs that and quickly reach the final aspired goal. Okay, I remember many years ago when His Holiness was giving teaching on this. I remember that the last verse 14, when it says, O my child, once you have thus realized the points of the three principal paths, renunciation, bodhicitta, the perfect view, seek solitude and cultivate strong determination and quickly reach the final aspired goal. So when His Holiness was giving the teaching, His Holiness, I remember him so clearly saying that when you reach this section, the verse, "O my child," if you can imagine that Lama Tsongkhapa is in front of you and actually addressing you, calling you my child, and then he's so lovingly exhorting that once you have understood these three principal paths so well, you're convinced, then don't waste your time. Cultivate, extract the greatest meaning of your life. That is the fearlessness and the infinite happiness. So, if you could imagine that Lama Tsongkhapa actually addressing to you, then this builds a very strong karmic connection with Lama Tsongkhapa. That in the future lifetimes you will actually have the opportunity to take birth at his feet, and that all instructions will be given by him. So this is what His Holiness said is very precious. Okay. Where did we leave this morning? Anyone?
Apprehension and appearance.
Just that?
Taking apprehension is and goes into the we were discussing about it.
Okay, thank you.
Literally, the sentence you were starting with was that mind when it sees an object, the emotions arise. You're going to give a summary of the whole thing.
Thank you. Okay, so what we were saying is that when a mind interacts, so the emotions arise, say excitement, attachment, anger, fear, stress, and so forth. They arise only when your mind interacts with the object. This is the first thing that we need to know. The mind interacts with the object. And how the mind interacts with the object, for example, like I touch the flower. So it's just a direct touch between the body and the flower. But when your mind interacts with the object, it's not necessary that there should be a physical touch. It can be even from distance, the interaction happens. For example, like the person who you dislike, the person passes by you from distance, instantly the irritation is felt inside. So interaction already happened. This interaction, given that it does not require the subject and object to come in contact physically, so how do they interact? They interact through two activities: act of appearance and act of apprehension. And the act of appearance is related to the object, and the act of apprehension is related to the subject. So, and with these two things, act of appearance and act of apprehension, these two things can go wrong. The example that we gave is that a person joins your company and your friend gave you a very bad impression or the wrong information about person A to be very bad, nasty, such and so forth. And then the first impression that you got is that the person is so nasty. And then you also see that it's objectively very nasty. And you build a barrier. After a while, mixing with the person for about 2 months, 6 months or so forth, then you see the person is so kind, so nice. So now, in fact, I have a greater authority to describe this person than my friend describing the person. Because my friend knows the person only for 2 days, and I know the person for 6 months. And my friend said that person is so nasty, but he's not, she's not, he's so good, so kind, so selfless. So earlier you had the wrong appearance and wrong projection, wrong apprehension. So now the person appears so nice and you have a good impression. Okay, so appearance and the apprehension, there are two. So likewise, we talk about seeing a blue snow, Sneha seeing blue snow, and you seeing blue snow. So the snow appears as blue to both of you. Both of you. So the snow is not blue, but it appears as blue to both of you. So for both of you, the snow mistakenly appears as blue. Appearance-wise, there is a mistake. Then you don't believe the snow is blue, although it appears as blue, but you don't apprehend the snow as blue. But Sneha continues to see believe the snow to be blue. Oh, snow means it's blue. So which means the subject-wise, not only appearance from the object is mistaken, subject also, apprehension is mistaken. The mind apprehends the snow as blue. So with this connection, in this connection, I ask the question, so which of the two is easier to be fixed and which of the two is more subtle? So what he said is that the Brahma Sinla, he said that it is easier to fix the mistaken apprehension. How do we fix it? How do you fix it? Say, when somebody says, no, the snow is never blue, it is white. It is white, and if you don't believe in it, remove the glasses. Remove the glass, you see it white. Oh, I see. The glass is blue. Again you put it back. Sneha puts it back. Again the snow appears as blue, but now she will not believe that it's blue. So the apprehension is fixed, but the appearance could not be fixed. You're getting it? Appearance could not fix. So mistaken appearance is more difficult to be fixed than the mistaken apprehension. How many got it? Raise hands. So from this, what we say is that mistaken appearance is there, mistaken apprehension is there. Which is more difficult to be fixed? Mistaken appearance. How many agree with this? Raise hands. Mistaken appearance is more difficult to be fixed, which means that yesterday we talked about afflictive obscurations and cognitive obscurations. Which of the two is more difficult to be fixed? Cognitive obscuration is more difficult to be fixed. Which is grosser? Afflictive obscurations. Okay, now, yesterday we talked about afflictive obscurations and the cognitive obscurations. And today we're talking about the mistaken appearance and the mistaken apprehension. So now we can correlate the two. Of the two afflictions, of the two defilements, obscurations, which is grosser? Afflictive obscurations. And with subtler, cognitive obscurations. And mistaken appearance, mistaken apprehension and mistaken appearance, which is grosser? Mistaken apprehension is grosser, and with subtler, mistaken apprehension. Which subtler? Mistaken appearance. Okay. So now we correlate the two. Afflictive obscuration, which is grosser, can be correlated with mistaken apprehension. Cognitive obscuration, which is subtler, can be correlated with mistaken appearance. Okay, the beginners, you are a little lost. Little lost or not? Huh? Okay, those who are little lost, raise hands. Okay, not lost. Only 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, never mind. So these things, these are the technical things which you don't really see discussed otherwise. So in the group discussion, I would suggest you to bring this up, and particularly the senior ones who are more into the retreats and more systematic studies, see if you also understood it, and then share this with the healthy beginners. Okay. So what we said is that and also what we discussed this morning is that the things all exist subjectively, but they invariably appear as objective real. Okay, appear as objective real means that they appear as objective real to whom?
To subject. To mind.
To whom?
To our mind, subject.
To his mind, to her mind. No, to me. To me. Oh, you say it again. Everything exists, everything appears to be objectively real. To whose mind it appears objectively real? My mind, to me. You're getting it? Which means that your mind is affected by wrong appearances. Hey, mistaken appearances?
Yes.
Afflictive obscurations. No, cognitive. So your mind is affected by cognitive obscurations. This is indication. The fact that things appear as objectively real means my mind is affected by cognitive obscurations. You're getting it? There's no blue snow there. There's no blue snow there. But with the blue glasses on, invariably the snow appears as blue. It's not a problem of the snow, it's a problem somewhere here with your glasses. Yes? And your glasses are very dirty, right? You look at the very beautiful Mount Kailash. You see it's a very dirty Mount Kailash. You're getting it? And don't blame Mount Kailash. Don't think of starting a Mount Kailash clean project. Right? Just fix the glasses. Project to clean your glasses. Mount Kailash is okay. You're getting it? So this is where things don't exist at all, don't exist as objective real, but they invariably appear as objective real. Yes, no? Okay, pick up something and look at it and see how it appears to you. Objectively real or subjectively real? Objectively real, okay. And if it appears subjectively real, right, it appeared. If the object appears subjectively real, in the first place you will not come to this class. If you do,
When you're in IUD.
if you do come to this class, even seeing things subjectively real, you have come to check on me. You're getting it? Okay, otherwise you will not come to this class if things appear subjectively real. Okay, the fact that it appears as objectively real means that your mind is affected by cognitive obscurations. Mistaken appearance, cognitive obscurations, these two are connected. Okay, now look at it again. Look at it again. Look at the object again. Not only see how it appears, see how your mind believes it to be. You believe that, okay, don't think that you're philosophers. Look at the object and see that how your mind believes, how your mind apprehends this object. Object real or subject real? Objectively real. So, mistaken apprehension. Mistaken apprehension. Which means that, again, there's no objective reality there. Your mind is apprehending it. Which means that your mind is affected by the afflictive obscurations. You're getting it? So when it appears as object real, it's affected by cognitive obscurations. When your mind apprehends as object real, it is affected by afflictive obscurations, which means our mind is affected by both obscurations. Yes? Okay, my question to you is, how do we know that, on what we have learned thus far, how do we know that your mind is affected by afflictive obscurations? Raise hands. Anyone? Anyone? How do you know that your mind is affected by afflictive obscurations? Chimela?
Because we objectively apprehend.
Because there's the wrong apprehension, mistaken apprehension takes place, viewing the object as objectively real. This is afflictive obscurations, and this is not because of the object, it's because of something wrong with my mind. That wrong that's with my mind is known as afflictive obscurations. Anybody who likes to explain to us how your mind is affected by cognitive obscurations? Anyone? Raise hands. Raise hands. Anyone? Yes.
The mind is mistaken with the act of appearing.
So the appearance of what? Appearance of the what? The pen is chocolate?
Of the object.
Of the object to be chocolate? The object they're looking at is not a chocolate, right? It's a pen.
As objectively real.
Yes. We should be very clear. The fact that my mind, when the object appears to my mind, the object appears objectively real. Mistakenly appears as objectively real. Objectively real. Right? Mistaken appearance can be of any form. Mistakenly the flower appears as chocolate. If it appears as chocolate, it's time for you to go to mental hospital. You're getting it? If it appears objectively real, actually we have to go to mental hospital. But everybody is suffering from this disease. You don't have to worry. But if you see the flower is a chocolate, then it's time something's wrong. Right? It's double wrong. Okay. Okay, so this is so important point. You are getting it? Afflictive obscurations, cognitive obscurations, how these two are related to the mistaken appearance of objective reality and mistaken the apprehension of the objective reality. Let's not forget it. This is so important. Then, once you know this, okay, mistaken, yes, things don't exist objectively. For the first time, you get some understanding of emptiness. For the first time, you get to understand that objectively things are not there. Things are empty. When you get this feeling, then you see that when you observe your mind, how your mind reacts to the object appears as very real. And my mind also believes, mind also interacts, particularly in the wake of anger, attachment, jealousy, fear, and so forth. How do things appear to you as so object real, and how your mind interacts with apprehend the object? It apprehends it as so object real. It becomes so clear, so clear. And then if you still are not too clear, then at the wake of this anger, fear, attachment, so forth, just take a little time, go to your room, close the door, sit, do a little bit of breathing, and then just invoke this anger, the affliction, anger, attachment, whatever. Just invoke this a little bit, and then try to see what triggered this attachment, the person, the cheesecake, whatever. And then think of this object and see how it is empty of object. The moment you get the glimpse of emptiness of this object, the object disappears. Instantly, all this turbulence of the mind, which is manifested in the form of your physiological changes within the body, heart palpitation increases, and your, say, the heaviness, tightness of the body, and so forth. This will all go back to normalcy instantly. You get a glimpse of emptiness instantly. All these physiological disturbance will go back to normalcy. It will just stop. You could feel from there. You see that, oh wow, that's amazing. How my mind interacts with the object. That triggers all these emotional stirs and physiological stirs. The moment I see the object correctly as empty of objective reality, instantly my mind, mental peace comes, and physiological disturbance subsides instantly. Okay, this is so precious. And for this we have to learn first. We have to learn. And then we have to subject this to reflection. And then the experience will come to us. Okay, so in this connection, I also like to share with you the three kinds of wisdom. Three kinds of wisdom, for the reason that we are talking about transforming our emotions. transforming our emotions, which are so disturbing to us. And to bring about this transformation, what is required? All these disturbing emotions at the core, at the base, at the foundation is self-grasping ignorance. Self-grasping ignorance means ignorance which views things as objectively real. Self-grasping ignorance means ignorance which views things as objectively real. You getting it? Self-grasping ignorance means ignorance which views things as objectively real. Okay, so to count.
Why this object is not realizing it?
Okay, so this comes later. Right? I'm so glad that you are so interested in this.
The first time I'm getting this session.
Wonderful, wonderful. It'll come. So the whole point. So the whole retreat is on this subject, on your question, to address your question. Thank you. If I don't address this, don't spare me. Ask this question again. Remind me. This is the core of your question is the core of the class here. What was I saying? Okay. Yes. Self-grasping, we have to talk about the self-grasping ignorance. What is self-grasping ignorance? It is the ignorance which mistakenly views. What did I say? Self-grasping ignorance is the ignorance which views things as objectively real. Good. So, finally, to remove all this mental disturbance, for example, like in the olden times, perhaps there are 500 years before the global warming, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, in Arctic Circle, Antarctica, so the iceberg is so fresh there. Icebergs. On icebergs, you can build the houses. You can stack floors after floors after floors, skyscrapers. Then with the global warming, what happens? Icebergs start to melt. Once the iceberg melts, what happens to what you have stacked on it? They will all crumble down. Right? You don't have to hit the hammer even once. You don't have to do that. The ground, the iceberg melts, everything what is stacked on top of this will crumble. So what is the iceberg metaphor for? Metaphor for the self-grasping ignorance. This iceberg on which all the inappropriate attention, afflictions, contaminant karmas, they're all built up on this. When the self-grasping ignorance melts, iceberg self-grasping ignorance melts, all what is stacked on top of this will all dismantle on their own. All our inappropriate attention, afflictions, contaminant karmas, they will all dissolve on their own. And once they're dissolved, your miseries end. That is nirvana, that is liberation. Okay. So for this, how to melt this iceberg of the self-grasping ignorance? How? So, yes. How?
By lighting.
By lighting the lamp of the wisdom. Wonderful. So these are the ignorance is like darkness. So how to remove this darkness of ignorance is by introducing the light of the wisdom. So this wisdom that you're going to encounter is the one to get rid of this ignorance, darkness of ignorance. Let's say that there is the burglar frequenting Tisamling, in the night, a burglar comes, and burglar is so extreme, like 150 kg, size, huge size, and very strong, macho. And then we need what? We need a guard, night guard. And the guard is just 30 kg, very slim, who's sick himself but is sick. Do you think that, so this guard is our wisdom to counteract the darkness, ignorance, 150 kg, macho, very strong, right? So this this burglar, if he comes to know that there's just like, no, not 30, 40, 50 kg, but the night guard, right? He will laugh at us. He will laugh at us, right? So you're going to counteract me, if you're getting it. He will just grab you like this, right? So which means that then how will we succeed? What should we do now? We have to bring a guard who is as strong as the burglar, yes? Okay, so in our case, the guard is the wisdom of emptiness. What's the wisdom of emptiness? Right? Already this is third day. This is the third day, yes?
Yes.
Including the introduction is the third day. So third day still no wisdom of emptiness. But this very strong macho ignorance is already there within us, right? And now we are bringing the wisdom. With maybe fourth day, fifth day, a week, wisdom comes, right? And this ignorance will grab it into like this, right? Okay, so so this wisdom, the guard should be extremely strong. We need a very strong on the guard, right? And how strong? It depends on the ignorance. What is the strength of the ignorance? Okay, tell me. I'll say what is the strength of ignorance within us? What's the strength? Tell me.
Very strong.
Very strong.
Extremely.
Extremely strong. How do you know that?
Because we see everything as objectively real.
Yes.
Because we have uncontrolled emotion.
Because we are trapped in this mundane happiness.
We are trapped in mundane happiness. Don't make it too boring. You know? So, don't make it too boring. People do not come to Sesam anymore. Deliberately I'm coming here to attract people. Right? Your name? Nobula. Okay. So how do we know that, as Venerable Bhattacharya said, how do we know that we have this self-grasping ignorance? So till you get some experience of emptiness, you will have no clue what is self-grasping ignorance. You're getting it? Till we have some degree of experience of emptiness, you have no clue of what self-grasping ignorance, whether we project, say, apprehending self-grasp, the objective existence, appearing objective existence, although I try to explain to you very simply, but in reality, it's very difficult to even know that things appear to be real, or your mind is apprehending it to be real. But there are indications there. How do we know that? Say, how strong okay, let's say that what we said is that the self-grasping ignorance is like the iceberg on which all its offshoots in the form of inappropriate tension, afflictions, contaminant karmas, they're all stacked up. And look at the offshoots. Offshoots we can see, like for example, say the attachment, anger, jealousy, fear. We can see them so easily. You see them? Yes? We see these emotions within us. Okay, so these emotions, and later on when you get a glimpse of emptiness, you see that just meditate on emptiness, and instantly these emotions, which the earlier generated like anger, attachment, so forth, instantly they will subside. From there you see that all these emotions underlying the foundation is this self-grasping ignorance. You can see that very clearly. Okay, so with this what he's saying is that these emotions, what strength of the wisdom of emptiness is required depends on what strength the negative emotions have. So what is the strength of the negative emotions? So initially actually is self-grasping ignorance, but we don't see that right at the moment, but we can infer this through its offshoots in the form of negative emotions like attachment, anger, jealousy, and so forth. How strong are they? There are two things. One is they are so spontaneous. Yes, anger. When somebody says, what a stupid person, right? Instantly your anger simply erupts. and then something which is so pleasant, something which is so appealing to you, you comes or you meet with things, cheesecake, momo, whatever, instantly, even physiology, you will see that your body reacts. Yes? Okay. So which means, number one, these negative emotions, there are two attributes. The first one is, or the qualities. Qualities doesn't mean good qualities, bad qualities also there. One is that they are so spontaneous, so spontaneous. Then number two, that they are so intense, spontaneous and intense. These two are different. These two are not the same. One is very spontaneous, another one is that it is so intense. Intense meaning, in simple terms, high quality. For example, say anger, attachment, they arise in you. It's extremely high quality, right? And for one time, there was one boy who was just 1.5 years old, just a baby, toddler, 1.5 years old, and he was with his father, and I was just watching, and the father was deliberately provoking his son, 1.5 years old son. He was provoking the son, and the son, he grabbed at the father's mobile and kept it on his side. And after this, when he was about to keep it there, the father grabbed at it and pulled it so hard and kept it on his side. And then just sat like this. And the boy, how old? 1.5 years old. He was so angry. And then he went to grab at the mobile, and he pulled it towards his side, and by the time it was almost there, again the father grabbed at it and pulled it from his hand and kept it there. Then from his anger, the anger on the son's face, you could see that. So high quality anger. Wow, amazing. Where did this boy learn this anger? From where? It's a very little boy, but the mind is not little boy. Mind is an old person from the past life, so addicted to anger and so forth, high quality anger from the past life. This is what this person inherited today as in a new body. The afflictions, same from the past life. Same afflictions. It's just the body's new. That's it. From the face, you could see the anger, intensity of the anger. Okay. So, in other words, negative forces, negative emotions, they have two attributes. One is spontaneity, another one is intensity. So much a great intensity is there. These two things. Now the wisdom of emptiness to counteract the remedy. A remedy as well should be extremely spontaneous and intense. If you look at the wisdom of emptiness, what is wisdom of emptiness? Say we have to attempt in the form of prayers, practices, and so forth. What's the practice? So how spontaneous? Let's see. So usually you do your evening prayers at say 5 o'clock. And is 5 to 5. Still I have 5 minutes. Is it intense? Is it spontaneous? No. Still I have 5 minutes, which means that you want to delay. It's already 5 o'clock now, right? Okay, I'll do it after 5 minutes. So where's the spontaneity? And afflictions are so spontaneous, right? So spontaneous. They come and go. And the remedies are yet to come. Sometimes the policemen, right? The robbers, they break in, destroy everything, and you call the police, right? And the robber, they broke, stole everything, they left, and after 3 hours, the police comes. So what's the purpose? If there's any policeman, I don't mean to demean the police, right? So this is just the metaphor. So this is exactly what's happening within us. The negative emotions, they are like extremely effective burglars, robbers, and so forth. They destroy us and they leave, and then the remedies are slowly coming. There's like sick people, they're coming, our remedies. So, but even these remedies are so precious. It doesn't mean that you are just hopeless. No, we have to start from there. So these remedies also should be as spontaneous, as intense as the negative forces. How to make this happen? How do they make this happen? Through 3 steps. First one is the wisdom derived through learning. Wisdom derived through learning. Second one is wisdom derived through reflection. And the third one is wisdom derived through meditation. 3. It is only through these 3 steps that you can expect to make the wisdom, the remedies, as powerful, as intense, as spontaneous as the negative forces. Only then we can counteract the negative forces, and then we can remove the mental defilements to attain the fearlessness and infinite happiness. So, what are the 3 wisdoms? The first one is wisdom derived through learning.
Reflection, wisdom through meditation.
Okay, first one is wisdom derived through learning. What is the wisdom derived through learning? Is, okay, let's listen. These are not just vague ideas. They have a crystal clear definition and meaning for each of the wisdom. You're getting it? We cannot conjecture. We cannot guess. Oh, wisdom, we learn something. Wisdom, we reflect something. Wisdom, meditation, no. The next question is, how would you demarcate between the wisdom derived through learning versus wisdom derived through reflection? How do you demarcate? What's the demarcating line? What's the demarcating line between wisdom derived through reflection and wisdom derived through meditation? It has a crystal clear, say the meanings, the meanings, definitions, and the measure of having say, upgraded from the first wisdom to the second to the third. They're very clearly explained there. Okay, the first one, what is that? Wisdom derived through learning. Wisdom derived through learning is the wisdom or the knowledge is a borrowed knowledge. Borrowed knowledge. What do you mean by borrowed knowledge? Say somebody tells you about emptiness, you learn it. You learn it, and the next time when you go out, somebody asks you how confident you are. No, I don't know how it is, how things are empty of objective existence. I don't know that, but this is what I learned as ultimate reality. So you just mimic what others said. For example, today, if you ask me what is the famous equation of Albert Einstein, I would say E equals mc square. But you know how this E equals mc square is derived? I don't know. I don't know the derivation, how it is derived. I don't know. So which means you are saying E equals mc square? Yes. Are you sure that this is the equation of Albert Einstein? Yes. Yes. So this is I just borrowed. This is the information which I have, which I'm not convinced. I'm yet to get the conviction in this. I just borrowed it from Albert Einstein. I mimic somebody. I just copied from somebody. A copied knowledge or a borrowed knowledge. This is known as the wisdom derived through learning. This is the only way. This is how we have to proceed. So, for example, let's say that you are, they say, you are looking for. Let's say that you are looking for, say, a laptop and the laptop cable and USB, UPS, USB connections. You're looking for a whole set, and you go to the Sherry Pumu, right? You go to some, and Sherry Pumu said, "Oh, Gisela, this is very useful for you." She gave me some laptop or whatever. And then I take a huge bag, I put it there. I don't know whether it's versus functional, not functional, I'm not too sure. But it doesn't matter, I just keep it there. And then Nicola comes, oh, this is good for you, right? So I already have something, but I'm not too sure. It doesn't matter, just put it there. So you get hundreds of these things, you pick it doesn't matter, keep all these things. Once you get home, what do? You put all of them down and see which is actually functioning. You're getting it? And whatever is functioning, you take it and then you're fully, okay, this is what really is useful for me. So the rest which is not useful, you can discard. So information that you get on emptiness, bodhicitta, whatever you learn them. So once you learn, later on what do? Then whatever you have learned, you try to recall them and subject them to analysis, subject them to reflection. By reflecting on this, and then you get a conviction. Yes, it is true. So for example, okay, yes, it's true that things don't exist objectively. Wow, that's amazing. When you first get a real feeling of amazement, wow, that's amazing. Tickling sensation comes to your body, goosebumps come to your body, and oftentimes a tinge of a fear can come to your mind. When that happens, this earlier borrowed knowledge becomes your knowledge. At that point, you have gained the wisdom derived through reflection. You're getting it? So, with the first wisdom, you are not convinced. You are yet to get the conviction. With the second knowledge, you get the conviction. You get the conviction? Okay. Say, when I was in school, high school, the TCU school up there, when I was little, maybe age 5, then my math teacher, she said that all the boys and girls, you have to learn the multiplication table of 3 by heart by tomorrow. And then class over. So unlike today, the parents, they ask the children, what is your homework? No. Even our foster mother, she's illiterate, right? So we forgot. And the next day, the teacher said, okay, Dorji, stand up, you have to recite the multiplication table of 3. No clue, right? Stand up means I know how to stand up, I stand up. Right? 5 years old boy, Dorji, tell me, recite. I don't know anything. So she would say, she's still there. She would say, Dorji, 3 ones are, that's easy. 3, good. 3 twos are, no idea. 3 twos are, no idea. So my fingers, they go behind. Right. 3 twos are, 3, 4, 6, good. 3 threes are, 7, 8, 9. 9, good. Sit down. Okay. Did I give the correct answer or not? I gave the correct answer. Did I know how 3 into 3 equals 3? Equals 9. How 3 into 3 equals 9? Did I know the answer? How it is derived? I have no clue. I have no clue. You're getting it? But I've got the correct answer. Correct answer, this is wisdom derived through learning. I learned from my teacher that how to do 3 ones are 3, 3 twos are just count, 4, 5, 6, 6. 3 zeros are again count. The what? 7, 8, 9, 9. This is what I learned. And what's the meaning of this? I had no clue. Today if you ask me, Dorji, what is 3 equals 3? 3 into 3, I would say 9. Are you sure it is 9? I would say 100% yes. How do you know that? What's the meaning of this? I know the meaning. Say if I'm going to give apples, 3 apples to each of the 3 nuns here, I have to take 9 apples. 3 apples for one, 3 apples for the second, 3 apples for the third. 3, 3, 3, 9. This is the meaning. So I got the conviction now. So that is the wisdom derived through reflection. It becomes your knowledge now. Earlier, when I got the correct answer, but not knowing how, what it means, it was a borrowed knowledge. That's wisdom derived through learning. Today, I know that. Not only I know that, I know the meaning of that thoroughly. It becomes my knowledge. That is wisdom derived through reflection. Okay. Now, how many of you know 3 into 3 equals 9? Raise hands. How many 3 into 3 equals 9? Raise hands. Okay, if you don't know that, right, you cannot go for shopping. Okay. Now let's see. Let's see. How many you know plus minus, additions and subtractions? Raise hands. Don't worry, not big numbers, small numbers, less than 4, and that too no multiplication. When I was 5 years old, the teacher was asking for multiplication. For you, no multiplication, just plus and minus, numbers less than 4. How many can do that? Raise hands. Okay, now let's do that very quick. Let's do that. And what I expect you to do is that you just do the calculation mentally. It's very simple. Mentally, don't utter a word. Don't utter a word. Do the calculation mentally. Once, only when I ask you what's the answer, then you say this. Till that point, keep it to yourself. Do it mentally. Ready? Angela, ready? 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. What's the answer?
12.
That's amazing. Wow. Okay, let's do it again. I promise not to complicate it. It's the same thing, as simple as the first one. Ready? Again, the thing is that you have to tell me the answer only when I ask you what's the answer. Till that point, keep it to yourself. Ready? 2 plus 2 plus 3 minus 1 plus 2 plus 3 minus 1 plus 2 plus... Don't utter a word. Don't shout. Don't laugh. Keep it to yourself. Ready? 2 plus 2 plus 3 minus 1 plus 2 plus 3 minus 1 plus 2 plus 3 minus 1 plus 2. What's the answer?
Good.
No. What's the answer? Okay. So the second part, is it more complicated than the first one? Not at all. But the second one, you could not give the answer. Why not?
My mind is too slow.
Because I said it too fast. How many of you agree with the European solar sense? I said too fast. Okay. Do you agree with me that I said it too fast? Okay, let's all do this. 2 hands out. And see what I'm doing. Okay, what happened? The sound of the clap erupted. So this sound of the clap erupted. Now only one hand. Don't hit somebody else. No sound. You're getting it? Why in the first case there was a sound? Because the 2 hands came together. With only one hand, there's no sound. The sound is symbolic of your miseries. And this sound naturally comes into being because of the 2 factors, external factors, internal factors. You getting it? Okay. So here, they say, when I said the calculation, and then you couldn't give the answer, you said that I said it fast. So me saying it fast, is it true? Yes, I said it fast. That is the external factor. And from your side, your brain works very slow, right? But you blamed only me. You did not blame your brain working slow. So these are both equally responsible. Me saying fast, your brain working slow, both are equally responsible that you could not give the answer. But you blame only the external. You're getting it? So in other words, your brain works so slow. Although you know how to do the calculation, although you are very convinced how to do the calculation, you have already reached the level of reflection, but it is lacking the fastness. You're getting it? Your mind doesn't work fast. And whereas your afflictions, how fast are they? Anger, right? Anger. So somebody said, what a stupid girl, what a stupid boy in public, right? Instantly the anger erupts, or you turn towards Venerable Samula, should I become angry? When Samula said, no. And then ask somebody else, right? When someone said, no, should I become angry? Of course! You did not do anything, and the other person is actually abusing you, right? You should become angry. Okay, let me meditate anger. Is it how the anger erupts? No, it erupts so spontaneously. But with the mathematical calculation, it's very slow. With the anger, it's high quality, very spontaneous. Attachment, high quality. Shopping malls, you go there, you see the Chanel, you see the Gucci bags, or Gucci for the boys, Gucci belt, Gucci shoes, right? Instantly, this attachment simply erupts within you so fast. So our mind, it's not that our mind works slow. No, that's not true. Our mind, there are 2, positive and negative. Negative minds, they work so efficient, so fast, high quality. Positive minds, they work so slow. You're getting it? Now we have to make our positive minds to work very fast. How to make it fast? Oh. Yes. Now, how to make this mind, the positive minds, work so fast? How to make it fast?
Familiarity.
Anyone else? Okay. How many of you speak, for example, Hindi, English, Tibetan, or whatever language you're which is your first, which is your mother tongue? Do you speak as fluent as how you speak today when you were 1 day old or 1 year old? No. So how come that you're able to speak so well today, so fast? Through practice. What do you mean by practice? What do you mean by practice? What do you mean by practice? Did you meditate? Okay, my language, right? I meditated to make my language faster. Did you meditate? No. What do you mean by practice?
Repetition.
Repetition. You're getting it? Don't make things so boring. So, what is our samsara? Right? So, what is misery? Attachment. Right? So, what is practice? Meditation. Don't make things so boring. You're getting it? Make it very secular. Secular, once you know the concepts, then apply these technical terms later on. You're getting it? So, otherwise, you're supposed, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings? For the benefit of all sentient beings. Yes. So some people, they need, yes, I have good health, right? Samsara, nirvana, Buddhahood, right? Then attachment so bad. Then people, what are you saying, right? It's nothing to do with me. Get off my way. Okay, so you cannot help others. So first, try to make things very simple. Take away the technical terms. Make it simple. Understand the concept. Once you understand the concept, then attach the technical terms. You getting it? Okay. And then there's a joy there in you. You'll find the joy in what you are, what you are sharing with other people, what you are contemplating. You'll find the joy. Okay. So how to make it fast? Practice. What do you mean by practice? Repetition. Repeat it over again, over and over again. And this is nature of the mind. Our mind has a tremendous quality. For example, let's say I want hot water. I want hot water. So what do? You boil the hot water. You boil the water. And it becomes hotter. And then it reaches 100 degrees, right? Keep boiling it. I want it really hot water. Keep boiling it. What happens? The water evaporates. You getting it? Which means that if you keep boiling it, again you reach the point. What do you call it? Boiling point. Once you reach the boiling point, finish. The water evaporates. You will not get the water. Okay. And then the Usain Bolt, he runs 9.58 seconds, 100 meters. 100 meters, 9.58 seconds. How many you can run 10 in 10 seconds? Results? He ran 9.58. 9.58.
59, 58, I don't know.
Okay, 9.58. And how many you can run in 13 seconds? Okay, Pepasilla, 15 seconds. In 20 seconds, all of us. 20 seconds, all of us, yes? Boys, girls, all of us. And Dinzilla? 25 seconds. Let's say 25 seconds. Okay, if you can run 25 seconds today, if you practice it If you practice it, in 1 week's time, you can run 24 seconds? You think so? Huh? Just be interactive. Say if you can run, if you can 100 meters in 25 seconds now without any training, I make you to train for the next 1 week. Your training is given. Do you think that you can run 100 meters in 24 seconds? Yes. You can improve? Good. Wow, that's amazing. In 1 week, you're able to run 24 seconds. In 2 weeks, 23. In 1 month, reduce 4 seconds, 20 seconds. Second month, another 4 seconds, which is 16 seconds. Another month, 12 seconds. Another month, 8 seconds. Wow, world record. You're getting it? Now you can break the world record. You just, the ocean board is behind you. Right? In 5 months, you can run faster. Is it possible? Why not? Huh?
The plateau, you reach a plateau.
You will reach a plateau there. From there, you will not progress any further. You're getting it? And if you have to maintain this, like maybe like say 12 seconds, maintain it. The next day, if you want to run that fast, 12 seconds, you have to exert the same effort. Without the same effort, you cannot run the 100 meters in 12 seconds. There's still the next, again the same effort. But the mind, how it runs is very different. You don't have to put all the effort once more. You don't have to do that. Whatever you did yesterday, that suffices. That suffices for today's exercise. And what you do today is additional on what you did yesterday. Which means yesterday if you're able to run 12 seconds, today you add to this, your practice, you can run for 11 seconds, 10 seconds. There's a constant progress happening. You will never reach a plateau. You're getting for the mind. For the body, you will always reach a plateau. This is the difference between training the body and the training the mind. You getting it? So if you think like this, it's extremely joyful for us. And so much of hope, so much of joy that, wow, this is the potential from my mind. We can progress like this. And your respect, your love, your respect for other people will also increase. Just as I have the potential to grow infinitely, well, all others also have the same potential. And then your respect, you will never ever demean, you will never ever be contemptuous or look down upon others. Everybody has the same potential. It's beautiful. Okay, so what final thing is that what we learn is that for our mind, for the mind, you train the mind like boil the water disappears. The mind disappears. Never. This is one difference. For the mind, no matter how much you train it, the mind will never disappear. The mind is very stable. Unlike the water. You continue boiling the water is not stable. At one point, when it reaches the 100 degrees centigrade, it evaporates. It is not stable. Number 2, unlike the body, training the physical body, which reaches a plateau from reaching of which you will not progress any further. Our mind, it will never reach the plateau. It will continue to improve. Amazing. So, with these things, the practice means to repetition, repeat what you've done. With all the conducive factors intact, you repeat, the progress keeps happening. Because then this mind, the wisdom emptiness becomes faster, and becomes more and more qualitative. You will gain the quality and gain the spontaneity. You're getting it? And then at one point, it becomes so natural that without any effort, you just want to think of the emptiness instantly, spontaneously, the wisdom emptiness comes to you. Okay, so that is through the constant practice. That constant practice of the virtue is known as meditation. So when you succeed to have this very spontaneously arising within you, at that point, your wisdom is upgraded from the wisdom of reflection to the wisdom of meditation. You're getting it? So these are the differences and the demarcating lines among the three wisdoms. Good. So, in order to reach to the level of the wisdom of meditation, only within the wisdom of meditation, again there are two. Within the wisdom of meditation, there are two. One is conceptual level, and the other one is non-conceptual level. The conceptual level, you practice over and over. First, conceptual level. You practice over and over again, eventually it'll be upgraded to the non-conceptual experience. Okay. So, with the non-conceptual experience, non-conceptual experience of emptiness, non-dual wisdom of emptiness, direct realization of emptiness, these three are synonymous. Let me repeat it. Non-conceptual experience of emptiness, non-dual wisdom of emptiness, and direct realization of emptiness, these three are synonymous. Only when you get this quality, this wisdom, direct realization of emptiness, only then you can counteract the mental defilements. Counteract the mental defilements. Okay. So to reach to that level, okay, now look, what is the actual remedy to remove the mental defilements?
Wisdom directly realizing emptiness.
Wisdom directly realizing emptiness, or the non-dual wisdom of emptiness, or non-conceptual experience of emptiness. This is required. But to reach to that level, you must have the conceptual experience of emptiness. To have the conceptual experience, conceptual, meditative, conceptual level of the wisdom of meditation, to have this, it must be preceded by the wisdom derived through reflection. To reach to that level, it must be preceded by the wisdom derived through learning. This is the only way. There's no shortcut. This is the only way. If you really want to be kind to yourself, that eventually I must stop the tears of the pains of samsara. I must stop the tears of the pains of samsara altogether, completely. If this is what you think, this is the only way. First, learn the wisdom of emptiness, wisdom draws through learning, then subject this to reflection, and try to make it your knowledge. Wisdom draws through reflection, then go to the wisdom draws through meditation. Within that there are two, conceptual and then eventually non-conceptual. So this is the only way by which we can stop the fears, stop the pains of samsara. This is the only way. Okay. Then the next is
A small question.
yes.
We talked about how negative emotions are so spontaneous and very intense. There are 3 remedies also suggested, right?
Yes.
But the remedies are very slow. It is powerful, but then it's very slow. But my question is, how do we get the negative emotions in the first place itself? Why do we inherently have it? Does it?
Okay. The negative emotions, the question Sepal is asking, negative emotions. In the first place, how do we get these negative emotions? Or how do we how these negative emotions exist inherently within the mind? Okay, so for the second one, I would say that no matter how intense, how strong, since how long the negative emotions are with you, they are never inherently with you. If they're inherently with you, you cannot do anything. So they can be instinctively with you, but they are not inherently with you. These two are very different. And negative emotions can be very instinctively with you. The way in which Charles Darwin said, these negative emotions, attachment, aversion, fear, they are instincts within us. These are the evolutionary. These emotions. They are the evolutionary gifts for us. G-I-F-T-S, evolutionary gifts. Buddha said these are not gifts, these are poisons. But Charles Darwin said these are the evolutionary gifts for us, these are instincts, these are evolutionary gifts. Why gifts? Because these emotions help us to survive. You want to survive? These emotions help us to survive. Why? How? Attachment. If you don't have the attachment, this is what he's saying. If you don't have attachment, you will not look for the good food, good house, cheesecake, and so forth. You will not look for the conducive factors for your survival. If you don't look for the conducive factors for survival, you cannot survive. And anger. Without anger, you will not get rid of the non-conducive factors for your survival. Without which, again, you will not survive. Fear. Without fear, if a tiger comes, you will not run away because there's no fear. And if you don't run away, that tiger will eat you up and finished. You cannot survive. So these negative emotions are required, not negative. These, they say the emotions are required for your survival, and that they're instincts. They're instincts, they came to you through evolutionary process. Say 4 billion years of the evolution from the unicellular organism through to the Homo sapien, 0.3 million years ago, and then from there till today. So this is what we have inherited. It's just a gradual evolutionary process that we are gifted with these instincts. And without these, we cannot survive. This is what he said. So these are instincts, but these are not inherent. And if you were to ask the Buddha, are they instincts? Answer is yes. Are they inherent? They are not inherent. Because they are the adventitious nature. They are not the true nature of the mind. True nature of the mind is so pure like a gold. These are like the mud. No matter how much the gold is with the mud, the inside the gold, it is not affected by the mud. Mud is just superficial. So these emotions, they are superficial. If that is the case, how did we inherit it? How did we inherit it? In the first place, how did they come to us? How did they come to us? This is the question. Okay. For this, let's say that today some of you may be a little lazy. Yes? What made you lazy? What made you lazy? Look, this is what I was yesterday. This is what I was 1 year ago, 10 years ago. Right? And why were you lazy 10 years ago? That was like 20 years ago. Why were you lazy 20 years ago? Because from past life. Right? So you go back. You go back, and it is never that you were so clean, and suddenly the negativities came. It's never like this. But the true nature of mind is always clean. True nature of mind is always clean, and why the afflictions are within me today is because of yesterday. Cause and effect. Ye dharma hetu prabhava. Because of yesterday. Why yesterday? Because 2 days ago. Why this life? The past life. This is how we track back. You getting it? Okay. Good. Any more questions before you go further? No questions. Yes.
You said that the negative emotions are very fast and spontaneous. But I feel that also positive emotions are very fast and...
Like what?
Like love and compassion. When I see someone crying, it comes very fast.
That's amazing. Yeah.
And I think it's not only me, I think it's...
So basically, say the...
Happiness, sometimes...
Okay, let's say the compassion. Compassion. Compassion towards somebody who is sick, who is ill, who is hungry. Compassion arises. In some cases, it's very spontaneous. Very true. So let's say there is say you're a small boy, age 7 or 8, and there was another small boy, age 7 or 8, on the street begging. and sick, hungry. And you tell your mom, Mom, please, give something. And the mom gives something. And the next day you say, Mom, please, can we not adopt him? If you want, I'll adopt. Yes, please, I'll be so happy you adopt. Then because you adopted now, two of you are same, right? Same school, same uniform, same chocolate. And in the school, your grade is B+, and your brother, adopted brother's grade is A+, A++, right? So initially when you go together to school, you're so happy, so proud, so happy. Then gradually, whole focus, attention goes to your brother, foster brother. And your brother is so intelligent that he gets extremely, say, which country you're from? Israel, Tel Aviv University, right? And you are in a very local university, small university. And then gradually, I don't know about you, but generally speaking, what you earlier see as source compassion now becomes a jealousy. You're getting it? So this where the quality is not there. It seems intense, but it's not qualitative. You're getting it? It's intense, but it's not stable. It changes to jealousy. So this is one thing. And also that the compassion, what we call as compassion, this is, in a way, is greatly attachment. We see as compassion. Yes, it is. It's very beautiful. But if you think more deeply, we see that it is contaminated by self-grasping ignorance. Okay, so the positive emotions, are they all very slow? Not necessary, in simple terms, not necessary. But the positive emotions to counteract the negative emotions. That is the wisdom of emptiness. That is, forget about slow, fast. It's not there with us for the first place. And to bring this up, it is so slow. You're getting it? Okay. Otherwise, you're right. What's your name?
Yaniv.
Yaniv. What Yaniv said is perfectly true. That not that all positive emotions are very slow. No. Even the love for your mother, love for your child, although it can be tainted with attachment, still is a positive emotion. It's so precious, so precious. It can be very fast, intense, and strong. Good. Any more questions? Yes.
Like the 3 steps, wisdom through learning, then wisdom through reflection and meditation. Like you keep stressing like how they're not random at all, and they're very well designed basically. So from what I understand, they should be followed in this order, right? But a lot of times people say that start meditating, and I know a lot of people who start meditating before going into intense studies. Like I personally need to understand and get conviction before getting into anything else. But this order is not always followed, I believe.
It is a good question. So, when people who I know, most of you, and then when you meet your friend, and when you meet your friend in front of me, then you will say that, hey, you must go to Geshe-la's class. This is very good. I said that don't make things very boring. You're getting it? I say that, I tell the person, don't come to Tibet house, but don't come for class. Come for class. Come for a cup of tea, not for class. You're getting it? So the first thing is, what do you want? We began a question. What was the question? What was the question which started this whole course? What do you want? We start from there. You're getting it? So the person who starts with meditation is fine. What do you want? No, I just want peace of mind. Right? I'm so fed up with all my husband, wife, children. So complicated. I just want to have peace of mind. Right? Do meditation, do breathing. Perfect. There's nothing wrong. And the person says that, I want to learn about the singing bowl, right? Tibetan singing bowl. There's no Tibetan singing bowl. But people say, I want to learn about Tibetan singing bowl, right? No, for Tibetan uniqueness, not singing ball. Is the body wisdom emptiness? No, I don't care. I want to know singing ball. Then singing ball. Right? This is what you want. Don't force. Wisdom of learning, wisdom of reflection. Don't force. Oh, just see, ask what you want. And from there you're getting it. So if the person says that, I want just meditation, right? So Megalodganj is meditation, right? Then let him do meditation, right? What kind of meditation? With closed eyes, close eyes, right? Meditation, just sleep. It's not meditation, just sleep, let him sleep. That's what he's happy about. Let him do that. Whereas only if somebody says that I want to stop my tears of samsara, that's enough. Now enough is enough. I don't want the tears anymore. I want to stop it. Then you talk about, are you serious? I'm very serious. You want to do anything that takes you there? Yes. Then follow ye dharma hetu prabhava. All these tears, they arise from the causes. What is the cause? These causes are taught by the Buddha. What is that? Ignorance, self-grasping ignorance. How to get rid of this? Introduce a counterforce. How to introduce counterforce? Learning, reflection, meditation. So only this is how we have to proceed. One, the next direct answer to your question is that so when you say that these 3 steps is only in the context of cultivating the wisdom of emptiness and bodhicitta, not otherwise. Otherwise, for breathing meditation, you don't have to go through studies, reflection, meditation, no need. Directly go. You learn a little bit about how to do the technique, you learn it, and you do it. It's fine. Only if somebody says, I want to stop the tears of samsara, simply by sitting for meditation, breathing meditation, it will never stop the tears of samsara. You getting it?
Give like momentary relief, right?
No, this is it. So the Buddha appeared. Even the Buddha, we're still in samsara, right? So let this person meditate and then fall asleep. Let him do like this. And then maybe one day will come that, I'm tired of all these things. Please teach me something more concrete. Then you can teach ye dharma hetu prabhava. So these are like response, as you said. Yeah. More questions?
Thank you.
It's two general questions. So my first question is long time back I got encountered with some family scholar. There was one Tibetan family scholar, Dr. mentioned her name, and she was giving the example of Buddha, who is not accepting the female into the nunneries.
Okay, for the time being, let us be very focused. Let's be very focused. Let's not be too digressed. You're getting it? When I say any questions related to what we have studied thus far. So because without clarification from what we learned, if I take the next step, it'll also become unclear. You're getting it? It's not just random questions, but it's related to what we have done thus far here.
Respecting the appearances that we see, because we see things objectively real. So I want to know objective real versus objective existence.
Okay, objective real versus objective existence. Okay, I would say for the time being, let's say these two are synonymous. Is it English? And it can be there's ambiguity there, like objective existence, objective reality, ultimate existence, ultimate reality. So the language-wise, there's a little ambiguity there. For the time being, let's keep these two as synonymous. It'll be fine. Okay, which means it's also like random question. Okay, good. Okay, 3 to 5:30 is 2.5 hours teaching.
That's life.
No, never. I will never say this. So for me, the maximum class is 2 hours. It says 2.5 hours. This is a record. It's a record in my life, huh? No, it says 3 to 5:30. I think
No, he's reading the schedule.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. So now next. So from this, tell me one thing. that what you find is something that you have to learn now. You know, now feeling a sense of urgency that I have to stop these tears of samsara. Yes, I know all the steps. Now I should know this. What is this? What is this? Raise your hand. Raise hands, raise hands. Here.
Oh. How to stop the
Ignorance.
in a forbidden attention.
How to stop the inappropriate attention. Okay. How to say all these tears are sufferings, and sufferings are because of contaminant karmas. How to stop the contaminant karmas? To stop the contaminant karmas, how to stop the afflictions? To stop the afflictions, how to stop the inappropriate attention? How to stop that? Anyone else? Anyone else? Quick. Anyone else? No one. Except for no one. So what is that thing? You feel that, okay, now this is the urgent thing that I have to know, right? After, say, imagine that we started with the motive is to stop the tears of samsara.
Non-dual wisdom of emptiness.
How to build up this non-dual wisdom of emptiness. So, again, this is not the direct thing, because non-dual wisdom, for this we know, for this something has to precede. What is that? Conceptual experience has to precede. For the conceptual experience of the emptiness to have, what should precede that? Wisdom derived through reflection of emptiness. For that, wisdom derived through learning. You're getting it? So, what is the immediate thing we have to learn right now? Anyone? Wisdom derived through learning. Wisdom derived through learning. Okay. Which wisdom? Wisdom of emptiness. Emptiness of what? Objective existence. What does it mean by emptiness, objective existence? So this is what we have to learn. In other words, emptiness or objective existence. This is the full form of emptiness. What is emptiness? To know emptiness, if you look at the Bodhisattva's vows, you see that you are not supposed to teach emptiness. You're not supposed to teach emptiness to just random people. You're getting it? Because there's a danger. What's the danger?
Fall into nihilism.
Fall into nihilism. This is a danger. You can fall into nihilism. You're getting it? So therefore, whenever I teach on emptiness, I'll say the first, I have to make sure that, yes, I've taken Bodhisattva vow. I should be very careful, because in it says that you are not to teach emptiness to random people, because they can fall into nihilism. You are responsible. So because of this, when I teach emptiness, I always begin with 2 questions. You're getting it? What did I say? I always begin with 2 questions. And for you also, in future, when you ever talk about emptiness, learn about emptiness, make sure that you remember these 2 questions. The first question, do things exist? Do things exist? What's the answer? Yes. If you say no, everything is empty, you fall into nihilism. You're getting it? So to the first question, do things exist? If the answer is no, you fall into nihilism. Only if you say yes, things exist, everything exists, good, bad, yourself, others, the virtues give rise to happiness, the non-virtues give rise to miseries, law of karma, triple gem, good things, bad things, everything exists. Only if you are able to say yes, things exist, you are safe from falling into nihilism. You are safe from falling into nihilism. Only when the answer is yes, then you are entitled for the second question. Second question is, do things exist objectively?
No.
Do things exist objectively? If you say yes, you fall into absolutism. If you say yes to the second question, things do exist objectively, you fall into absolutism. Whereas if you say no, things don't exist objectively, only then you are freed from the two extremes, extreme of absolutism and extreme of nihilism. So this is when you are entitled to study emptiness. Good. Now, when talking about emptiness, we need to know that the Arinigarjuna, who is the one who is a commentator on the Buddhist teachings on emptiness, the commentator who is being respected by all the great Nalanda masters, and is also revered as the second Buddha by all the Mahayana, the tradition followers. They revere him as second Buddha, Arinigarjuna. So Arinigarjuna, in all his teachings, when he was venerating the Buddha Shakyamuni, he always praised the Buddha Shakyamuni for having taught emptiness and dependent origination. There's always a balance stuck between these two things, emptiness and dependent origination. Not always emptiness, but always emptiness and dependent origination too. In other words, from this what we're learning is that whenever you learn about emptiness, when you talk about emptiness, when you learn about emptiness, emptiness should not be seen as nothingness, it should be seen as dependent origination. Emptiness should be seen as dependent origination. From this, what we're going to learn here is a very important point. Number one, emptiness means dependent origination. In other words, emptiness equals dependent origination. Number two, emptiness equals dependent origination. Number two, dependent origination equals the middle way. Number one, emptiness equals dependent origination. Number two, dependent origination equals the middle way. Okay, what I said is A equals B and B equals C. What is your job? A equals C. You're getting it? So I said emptiness equals dependent origination and dependent origination equals the middle way. What is your job? Therefore, emptiness equals the middle way. Emptiness is not nihilism, it is the middle way. You're getting it? Okay. The first, what is the first thing? How is emptiness? How emptiness equals dependent origination? Okay. For this we need to know 5 points. How emptiness equals dependent origination? For this we need to know 5 points. Point 1, emptiness. 1 is emptiness. Number 2, emptiness is a short form of emptiness of independent existence. Let me repeat it. Emptiness, number 2, emptiness is a short form of emptiness of independent existence. For example, how many of you know who? How many of you know who? Sneha, you know who? Sneha doesn't know who. You know who? You know, you don't know. You know. What is that? Oh. Yeah. So Sneha is confused. Sneha thought that I'm asking who's who. Right? Okay, what is who? Anyone else? PLE?
World Health Organization.
Who is a short form of World Health Organization. You are getting it, Sneha? It's not who's who. Right? Okay, so it's a short form of World Health Organization. Likewise, emptiness doesn't mean emptiness. Emptiness is a short form of emptiness of independent existence. Number 2. Number 3, emptiness of independent existence means nothing exists independently. Number 3. Emptiness of independent existence means nothing exists independently. Number 3. Number 4. Nothing exists independently means everything exists by, nothing exists independently means everything exists by dependence. Very good. This is number 4. Everything exists by dependence means everything is dependently originated. Wow, Ornella is so amazed. Wow.
Can you repeat it slow?
Okay. It's not because of the wow, it's because it's too fast. Okay. Ornella, don't worry. Let me repeat it. I was so happy that you were so wow. Right? It was not the wow, it was the wow because it's so fast. Okay, number 1, emptiness. Number 2, emptiness is a short form of emptiness of independent existence. Number 3, emptiness of independent existence means nothing exists independently. Number 3, nothing exists independently means everything exists by dependence. Number 4, everything exists by dependence means everything is dependently originated. So from these 5 points, we come to deduce that emptiness means dependent origination. Okay, what is number 2? Dependent origination equals the middle way. How dependent origination equals the middle way? For this, we need to know 2 points. Point 1, dependent origination has 2 sides, dependence and origination. First, dependence. When you say dependence, what's the opposite of dependence? Independence. When you say dependence, it rejects independence. Independence and absolutism, these two mean the same. Oh, it is so absolutely right. It is so independently right. So independence and absolutism, these two are the same. So when you say dependence, it rejects absolutism. It rejects the extreme of absolutism because it rejects independence. Independent and absolute, these two are the same, so it rejects the extreme of absolutism. And the other side is origination. When you say origination means something comes into origination, something comes into existence. What's the opposite of existence? Non-existence or nihilism. So when you say origination, it rejects nihilism. Nihilism, same. It rejects nihilism. So, dependent and origination. Dependent, it rejects the extreme of absolutism. Origination, it rejects the extreme of nihilism. Now, bringing the two together, dependent and origination, bringing the two together, the two extremes are rejected. Extreme of absolutism and extreme of nihilism are rejected. Rejecting the two extremes is following the middle way. Therefore, dependent origination means the middle way. Okay, so now we've already deduced how emptiness equals the dependent origination and how dependent origination equals the middle way. Therefore, emptiness means the middle way. It is not nihilism. You getting it? Okay, this is so important for us to know. Okay, I think it is too much information. We'll stop here. Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgate Bodhisvatyata Om Gati Gati Parasamgate Bodhisvatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgate Bodhisvaha. Okay, we turn to page 52. the three verses for dedication. Page 52, 52. I dedicate the marriage thus gathered towards the realization that teaches in the prayers of all venerable sadhus of 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine, scripture, and insight. May in all lives, through the force of this marriage, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and overcomes all the stages of the path, the renunciation, bodhicitta, the perfect way in the 2 stages. For my 2 collections, vast the space that I've amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom has blinded by ignorance.